This is your host, D. Doss. Today, we're going to look at a remarkable piece of footage that was caught last night in Mississippi at our camera that's on Balt's property. Now, if anybody watched Stream last night, you would know that none of this was set up. This wasn't hoaxed. And once you get done hearing the audio, you can really tell it wasn't hoaxed. A lot of you guys were saying that this piece of audio was a bobcat. Well, I've doing this 5 years. I've been out on hundreds of outings and heard dozens upon dozens of legitimate sounds and audios from these creatures. And when I got the phone call today, because I went to sleep early last night, let's give you some inside baseball. I don't always get to see every live show that's being done. So Valt and I had like a 3 hour long conversation that went all over the place. But when we were talking about this, he was saying, some of you guys were saying it was a bobcat. I grew up in southern Oklahoma, as most of you know. Family in Arkansas, Louisiana. Heard a lot of these creatures. And to me, this sounds like legitimate Sasquatch. Not Dogman, but sounds like a legitimate Sasquatch activity going on. It's pretty nuts. Speaking of legitimate Sasquatch activity, there's been a lot of weird stuff going on around here, but the closer we get to us putting up a camera in these woods, the more I'll tell you about that. But anyways, I wanted to look at this stuff with you guys, and we kind of go over it together, and I give you my my take on it, pretty much. So without further ado, I'm going to share the audio with you because it would be pointless if I didn't.
Screaming, getting murdered thing a while ago.
What? That's wild.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna tap into the camera right now. I'm gonna let you go. We're gonna tap in the camera and see what's going on.
All right, I'm going to hit pause right there. From what I understand, and I'm not with you guys in the chat, I'll jump back and say hello to everybody and get your opinion. But that was Vault that Dark was just talking to. Like I said, to get the inside baseball on what was going on, Vault and Lakeia were just about to cook them some supper. They got off the phone. We're cooking some elk steaks, like directly after this phone call. So they were nowhere in the yard.
All right, man. I'll see you.
All right.
I just call me when you get ready.
All right, I'll call you.
All right.
All right, later. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try and get the camera up while we wait for our next.
Like, before we get into this, can everybody hear okay? Can everybody hear the clip? Can everybody hear me? All right. Like I said, I know I'm starting a little bit early, but I don't think that hurt anybody's feelings. Because what I mean, it's a pretty remarkable piece of audio. And hey, Rootman Jr.'s in here. He's old school, old BDRP subscriber. Speaking of which, we got Scared Silly Rada 5892. Thank you for that. Welcome back, D. He's another old BDRP subscriber. Pug Go, Candy Girl, Miss Lakeia herself. What's up, Sister Lakeia? JJ Cryptid, Chase Thompson, the Vault of Nightmares himself. I'm glad they're in the chat so they can give you a little bit of insight as we're going through this. Scared Silly, Chase Thompson, Kabiru Oni Coil. So everybody's saying they can hear all right. You can hear the audio. What's up, bud? And we got Larry and Candace Hills, of course. Great people. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the share screen. I just wanted to make sure that you could hear everything okay. Because this was phenomenal. I wish I would have saw it live, but I'm glad it was pointed out to me. Big shout out to DW and Balt. And this is what we're talking about when we say that these cameras are important. They're like, this whole project is something I'm behind 1,000% because of stuff like this. Now check it out. What was that? All right, sweet. Here we go.
Caller. I had it up and I closed it because I thought it was messing with the stream. Let's take a peek into see if One Eye Willie is out there. What he doing? Willie, where are you, Willie? All right, let's see. Let's get this to where y'all can see it.
And you can tell Doc's playing around, like, you know what I
Uh,
mean. I don't think he's vamping for
that.
Tom, but he's just hanging out with you
Capture
guys and
that.
watching the camera.
There. Let's pick. Boom, 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 boom. Rio link. Let's go there. Let's make it nice and big. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's make it nice and big, and let's go over here and let's make it big, and let's get us some audio and see what's going on. These bushes look like they've been stepped on some more since the other night. For those of you who don't know what we're looking at, this is a live camera with the Dogman Camps Research Project, and this project is designed to capture evidence of cryptids. At one point in time, we had 4 operational cameras. We have 1 right now. By next week, we'll probably have 4 again. There's really nothing standing in the way other than the line of people that were at T-Mobile in Orleans Parish with their little mandates where they were like, you can't come in here. The fuck is that?
All right, let's pause it right there. So I'm sure you guys heard that. I'm gonna let you hear it again. But as he's talking, and underneath him talking is when it starts. And he turned on the audio. You could tell there was a lot of people listening because it's moving in and out. But let's check that out one more time because it's remarkable.
Cable to hook my phone to because I was doing that so I could play the intro. And when I went to undo it, I slid the drawer back, and when I did, it took the wire. But I fixed that, and then I fixed it where I don't have to hook a phone to it that way or nothing else to play anything that I want.
So you ready to start taking calls yet?
No, I don't have the Skype set up yet.
Well, we need to do that tomorrow. I got time tomorrow. Tonight we're gonna play that game, man. I went to bed on you the other night. I'm ready to go ahead and slice some people up on that Call of Duty. You're gonna see me go to work. You're gonna be like, man, he dove out the window and killed people. Yep, I dive out windows. I'm wild with that. I'm telling you, I'm sneaking up behind people, slitting their throats. You're gonna see me in action tonight, boy.
Hey, I'm gonna live stream. I'm gonna set my camera up and I'm gonna live stream us playing tonight. How about that on the channel?
Oh, you need to get the audio because if we're on the same team with people we know, I ain't gonna talk no trash. But if people we don't know, oh man, you gonna hear me go clean the hell off. Ain't nobody a trash talker like me, bro. You like this dude crazy.
That sounds good. I'll have. I tell you what, we made streaming on Lakeas because I don't know if they'll hit us for copyright for that game and the audio. I'm not sure. So what we'll do is I'll get Lakay to come here and set up like she did before and stream it when me and Truth and Bass played.
Truth and Bass need to get in there too. I'm gonna spank up on them boys too. Hey, so guys, we're gonna be releasing some content on Vault's channel tomorrow. Some of the stuff, the snippets from him telling his stories about the fire, which is actually pretty creepy, man. When you watch it, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it back. That shit's creepy as hell, Vault. Like for real, you a creepy dude. I'm glad you my friend. You scary.
Oh, just wait till you hear the new intro. Vault has a new lullaby for everybody.
Well, I can't wait to hear it, man. I cannot wait to hear it. We're gonna play somebody that's gonna we playing on PC or Xbox. We playing cross whatever it is, where you play against
Cross
people on all of
platform.
them. Cross platform, yeah. Play it on anything. I got cigars. All I need is a cigar and a charged up controller, and I'm going ham.
What you need to do is either email me or DW to let us know what your gamer tag is. That way we can, that way we can find you. Because we usually like me, Lethal, Cobra, Bass, and Truth. We'll all get in a lobby together and go and bang up again. All right.
All right, later. Then the line of people that were at T-Mobile in Orleans Parish with their little mandates where they were like, you can't come in here. The fuck is that?
Now there's a second piece of audio that I want you guys to hear. I'm sorry I
What the
backed up
fuck?
too far.
Y'all heard that shit?
It's
Yo,
gonna
tell me
you're
y'all
gonna hear it
heard that.
shortly.
Yo, for real. Tell me you heard that shit. That's crazy.
Now that first part seems to come, and it may just be me. You guys, I want to get in the crowd with you guys, get in the chat with you guys, and see what you think. But the first part of the audio seems like it's come back from this direction, from the left. It would be the left of your screen. That's where it seems like it's originating from. Now I know there's some probably audiologists out there, or people that work with audio a whole lot more than I do. I know a little bit, but not a lot. You may disagree, but that's where it sounds like it's coming from me. And you'll hear the second part of the audio, and it seems to originate in a different area.
Then the line of people that were at T-Mobile in Orleans Parish with their little
All right, here
mandates.
comes the
They were like,
first one.
you can't come in here. The fuck is that? Oh
All
yeah.
right, let's fast
Like I ain't.
forward a little bit.
That's fucking crazy.
There was a second one.
Dude.
I sincerely wish that you could hear without everything cutting out, but there was a lot of people watching the cameras, and that's what attributes to that. You know what I mean? That's just an unfortunate byproduct of the cameras being up and them being able to have live access. You know, the more people that are on them, you're going to get that type of audio lag and stuff like that. But the second one seems like it's coming from a different area. Check it out.
Yo, for real. Like, am I tripping? Like, am I bugging? Tell me y'all heard that shit for real. Dog, that ain't no dog. Don't no fucking dog sound like that. Hey, rewind the stream, y'all. I can't rewind nothing, y'all. A bobcat? Okay. I don't know what bobcat sound like, but I don't think that sound like no goddamn bobcat. That's a big ass bobcat. Was that a howl? Rewind that shit, man. And for the record, that ain't no minced up audio. Like I ain't. That's fucking crazy. Dude.
Dark's reaction to it makes it even better. This man's heard all sorts of stuff. People sent him all sorts of audio, but to me, that's not a dog man like a lot of people are trying to say. From my humble opinion, having done this for a long time, that is straight up a Sasquatch. Could you guys hear that out? I hate to have to like have played that whole thing and there was no audio. Balt says about 4 minutes later, it started doing it again. And he said, as everything progressed, you guys didn't get to hear this or see it, but they were actually yelling and projecting it towards his house. So, that's why I love this project. That's why I love being a part of it. Like you can't fake that. You know what I mean? And DW being on a live stream, that to me that adds to the validity of it because that was sincere shock. Nobody was expecting that. Nobody in the chat. I went back and looked at it and I started reading the chat and whatnot. Nobody was expecting that. And I'm sure Vault's going to get on. I don't want to speak for him, but he's talking about the reaction of his dogs and stuff. And you know he lives in the boonies. These dogs aren't afraid of too much of nothing. And the way that they were reacting, like I said, you'll get to hear him. He'll tell you the way they were reacting to it. To me, it screams Sasquatch. So it's like I said, phenomenal piece of footage, piece of audio that I would give the Pepsi challenge to any field researcher. Anybody who watches this who knows the creature. There's Dark Waters in the chat with you guys. Anybody who knows the creature, who's gone out and investigated, has heard this sound before. And it's originating in two different places. Eileen Purvis. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I think I am. She said she was watching last night. It ain't no bobcat and it's not a panther. I agree with that. Now, anybody who's been around, we call them cougars down here, or mountain lions. Cougar, panther, mountain lion, catamount. Even though that catamount can be attributed to Sasquatch in some areas, believe it or not. When you hear these things, they do make some weird noises. Like, if you ever hear, I'm sure a lot of you guys are from the South. You've heard some of the older folks say, hey, don't ever go into the woods when you hear a baby cry. If you hear a baby crying, leave it alone. It's not a baby. I heard before as a child, my brother-in-law was going. He said straight up that there was a baby crying in the woods. They thought it was one of these cougars. They're going out there to get rid of it because you don't want one of these things being comfortable around your house, especially if you got chickens, goats, anything like that. You don't want these creatures being comfortable messing around your property. That didn't sound like anything remotely close to that. So I just got a text. DW's wanting to jump on. Maybe he can give us a little bit more insight to it. But that was a fun piece. That's what I call a fun piece of audio. I am Dark Waters. And so we're gonna send Big Homie a invite, get him in here. Because I briefly got to talk to Dark Waters today. For anybody who knows, we're a pretty tight knit crew. We share information. We talk. We're friends. We're brothers. But I didn't get to talk to Dark too much about this. So this is gonna be fun. And again, folks, you guys follow this subject just as much as I do. I may have gone into the brush a bit more, but that don't really mean anything. I've never put that above anybody. It's just that I've had the luxury of being in areas where I can go out into active places where I can hear stuff like that. But the Sierra sounds, I know you guys have heard that. It's not spot on, but it's similar. You can tell that this creature, it's not a dog man, even though we all know that dog man's in this area. That's what's phenomenal about it to me. He's got a lot going on. And I think he kind of kicked the hornet's nest when he was messing around. And he'll tell you too, when he's messing around on Halloween, making fires. And then there was a point in time where they kind of tried to push him into the thicker brush of it. So, Dark, the invitation is sent, sir. Miss LeKay says, Vault, bring me a cigarette. I need one after hearing that again. Yeah, no kidding. As close as that was to you guys' house, like you gotta be, and I'm laughing, but really, it's serious business. These folks live there. I'm listening to it from Southern Oklahoma. They're in Mississippi. You know what I mean? We have to take into consideration, as interesting and as cool as all this is to us, there's people that live there. And these creatures don't play no games. So, and that's the last thing we want. Vault, he's got the wherewithal, a little bit more than anybody I know who does this. He's not going to be putting himself or his family in danger. But the part of this project is trying to understand this creature. And we're at a point where we're trying to understand how far can we push these things. How far is too far, I guess I should say. Folks, we got Sean from Chasing the Truth in here with us as well. Great guy. Again, big thanks to Sean for jumping on the last show. We had a lot of fun. We brought somebody from the crowd in who's been on his show multiple times, another fellow Oklahoman who had very, very great experiences and a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So All right, DW, I'm going to send it to the second email that you just threw in there. But in any event, this is what we're talking about with this with this subject, folks, and this project, the camera project. You're not going to hear that anywhere else. That was in real time during a live stream. Just everything that's been done as far as Balt going out into the brush. Tell you what, to make it faster, Sean, I'm shooting you this invite. I don't know if you're busy or not. Can you shoot that invite to Big Homie for me? Because my Fred Flintstone fingers, and that was a lot of letters in that last email. So that'll probably be the easiest way. Sean says, do I have the audio MP3? I know I don't have the audio MP3. I really wanted to. I think you're talking to. Either way, I'm going to turn that video clip into an audio MP3 and isolate that and try to extract it a little bit more, since there was kind of a little bit of skippage through it. And I think that, I'm not sure, but I think that's what the reason it was there was so many people listening that it was skipping. It was like a CD. You know what I mean? But regardless of that, that was a phenomenal piece of audio. That got my hackles up. That got me excited, because once you do this for a while and that's what you pour yourself into, that basically is your job. Look at it like you're drilling for oil. That was just a bunch of oil squirting out of the ground. And to quote Miss Marquita, I know I'm slaughtering your name, Miss Jones, become a member today. It's only $5.99. It's cheaper than a pack of cigarettes. Ain't that the truth? That's dogmancams.com. Go to the membership and account section of it. Go ahead and sign up, because now is the time to do so. I guarantee you, and I don't know for sure, but I guarantee you, when all these cameras get up and you start hearing and seeing things like you have right now, just organically the price is going to go up. So if you jump on right now, before all these cameras come up, because I got in some inside baseball on that, I can tell you straight up, at least one is coming down to Oklahoma, and it's coming down to an area that makes LBL look like the kiddie pool. Straight up. We got witches, ghosts, warlocks, dogmen, Bigfoot, everything you could imagine and its mama is down in this area. So, it's just it's a phenomenal piece of evidence. I can tell you some more inside baseball. I won't go into too much detail, because, again, I'll let this man speak for himself. All the proceeds that are going towards all this stuff, Balt is putting it back into the research. That's a real, genuine researcher right there. He's getting a boom mic. He's getting some other audio equipment. Since we got that phenomenal piece of audio last night, everything that we're doing, it's reciprocal. It's going to be going back into the project so we can get more evidence. And we're not discovering anything. We ain't discovering nothing. We, as in the team, we together, the team and the audience, are discovering this together. That's the beauty of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Big Homie is with us. The one, the only, Mr. Dark Waters.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up, big bro?
Man, I went full bitch the other night, man.
Now, like I said, am I lying about it? We didn't get to talk too much, because there was phone calls coming in through all sides. We were talking earlier. Bro, that is one of the most phenomenal pieces of audio I've heard in the past 5 years.
Dude, that shit caught me for a loop, because I'm just running it. I'm actually trying to end the show. And so I'm just running it. Like, my brain is saying, okay, we got to find a way to end the show. I'm playing with OBS, and then I'm like, what the fuck is that noise?
Yeah, you can tell it caught you one foot off the merry-go-round.
Yeah, then you start hearing other shit. I'm like, hold on, man. At first, I'm thinking, I'm tripping. I hit like a sound effect or something, but I'm like, nah, you ain't got no Audacity open. You ain't hit no sound effects. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? So then it started going on and on. And I'm thinking I'm tripping. So I'm like, y'all hearing that? And people are like, yeah, we hear that for sure. But we had been catching faint sounds for the longest. What I think we done did, honestly, I think we done fucked up. Because if you go back and look, all this shit is like 2.5 weeks ago. It was way before Halloween. Vault went out there fucking with that camera and pulled a weapon on one of them things.
Right.
Then we start doing dumb shit and we going full retard. That's what we doing. Then we do a big ass bonfire. Really, literally, we do a big ass bonfire. Lakea's out there and she goes in the house because she's like, yo, there's some shit out here. And then she heard some kind of little boy talking, some kind of ghost.
Yeah,
So
he told me about that. That's some weird, spooky shit.
yeah. And so now we done did all that shit. And the whole plan was, okay, we done did it. We're gonna just chill and leave them alone and just let the cameras run. So I wasn't even thinking about bringing the camera up. I think we had ran out of callers or we had got to a lull in callers. So I'm like, let me just bring the camera up so I can think about where I'm gonna go next. And then shit just started going crazy. And I'm like, man, this is too much. Like that shit was too much for me to handle, bro.
Yeah,
That
it
shit's
was a
like
lot.
it's in my ear. That's the thing that caught me. Cause I'm talking, I got headphones on, and it's literally like in my ears. And I'm like, whoa. Like it doesn't know justice when it's in your ear. It's like whatever it was right next to me. And then I
And
just
that's
started
the beauty
spazzing.
about it, and I think just everybody, if listen to it, if you have the capability, listen to it through headphones. That'll kind of give you a distinct area of where that vocalization was coming from.
No, absolutely. That threw me off. I mean, that threw me all the way off. But we already knew that there was stuff out there. We had already seen the eye shine. That's just like the video that I released today that you guys, hopefully all you guys, you, Sean, Vault, will go over with One Eye Willie just bobbing back and forth. Like literally at 6:30 this morning. So it goes from like sporadic activity of sticks and rocks being thrown towards the camera, us seeing One Eye Willie, which everybody we streamed that way. You saw that
Yeah, everybody
eyeball.
sees. Yeah,
Then it goes to all this shit, and then you clearly see this gigantic eyeball. And if you look at the video on my channel, do you have the video to play over here? Because I can send it to you.
yeah. If you shoot it to my email, I'll actually play it as we're talking.
I'm gonna shoot it to you right now.
Okay.
If you look at it, it's in that gully, and it's all verifiable. That's the crazy thing. It's in the gully of where when Vault was going out towards the woods, he had to go down into this like little crevice and then come back up. And you can see it's down in there and it's bobbing up and down. And we've seen all the footage. You can go take a photo of it right now in broad daylight. I'll do all that shit because this is crazy, man. Oklahoma. I mean this is.
And there's another piece of footage when I saw that eyeball that I wanted to compare it to that I'm actually going to put in the video. There was a gentleman, and it doesn't say where he was, but the same type of situation. This Sasquatch is in a gully past the tree line, and it's bobbing up and down. His dog, he's got some big dogs. I don't know what they were, mastiffs of some sort, but they got the tail tucked between their legs and they're hiding under his feet. And this dude is filming these set of eyes shooting up and down. Robert Dodson, God rest him, one of my mentors, he had another piece of footage of that, but he had an actual some sort of equipment where you can see the outline of this creature. It's doing the same thing. I think that since they have a sense of knowing of what we can see and what we can't. I don't know if they can tell that we can see their eyes or not, but it's the same. I compare that to those two remarkable pieces of footage. You see this creature bobbing up and down, like trying to hide itself as it's watching intensively.
Oh no, that was freaky, dude. I mean, that's all the way freaky. I'm taking a snapshot of what the camera looks like right now, and I'm gonna send that to you too.
All right. Lucas
I just
Percival.
sent you the video footage.
Sweet. Can I get your email? My email for anybody who wants to know is ddos@dogmancams.com or oklahomados@gmail.com. If you have anything you'd like to share with me or you'd like to be on the show, hit me up at either one of those emails. Here we go.
And y'all watch that freaking eyeball. Hold on, I gotta see this myself again. Screw that picture.
Yeah, picture doesn't do it justice. It really doesn't. And of course, you're going to have your skeptics. I haven't seen any yet because it's just it's too much. It's too clear. It is what it is.
I've
Yeah,
seen one
yeah.
or
Let me
two
get this.
people. Go ahead while you do that. I'd say I've seen one or two people being skeptic, and I can understand that. I mean, I'm not tripping on
Yeah,
like people like, oh, that's one of y'all making a noise. It came from the camera. Hey, it's all good. I'm not tripping. That's the whole purpose of the project is for us to put the information out there and you decide. But when you have a sequence and series of events that lead to it, like to with literally you see this eye, so you go from fucking around playing around with a camera pulling a gun on something to okay, we're gonna do Halloween, and then we left time, we left a long period of time where we did nothing out there. Then you go to doing a bonfire, hanging outside, him talking. There it is right there. You see the eye moving back there?
yeah. And what's crazy is you can determine from the deer that you could see on the camera. I think it was a few days afterwards. You could tell that's something with one eye.
And I could see if that was the first time we caught evidence of that one eye. I can see that, but we've had repeated incidents where that one eye was up next to it, like in the bushes, way taller, in the bushes by the tree looking, and we've caught
Yeah,
it over and over and over, and not just on live streams. Like the members who have access to the cameras have caught it when I wasn't looking for it, and they're like, "Oh, DW, look at it, big one eye Willie's back," and then so all of a sudden now he's just came in closer, which to me shows an escalation.
yeah,
That's why I think
absolutely,
we need to kind of fucking chill. We need to relax, dude, because
bro.
that's
That's
way
really
close.
close. That's just outside of where any kind of light source would be. So I mean, it's pressing. It's pushing.
Now get this. You have to realize we're picking that up. Well, let me just pause and say it this way. So in order to get the eye shine that he was having in the bushes, we had to turn on the exterior light to that house, which projected for light further out. So just so you understand how close this thing is, the exterior light is not on, so it's not projecting anywhere. It's literally right at the edge of the light that the IR light is picking up. It clearly understands, okay, I'm at the edge of this, which is crazy. And then look how man,
Just at the beginning of the clip, like it's moving around so much. It looks like it goes from a standing position, and it kind of kneels down, and it's moving its head. That's not a
and what
flashlight. I mean, because there's different layers to the light.
dude, I'm gonna tell you like this. This is shit that really throws me off. Um, I could see if we hadn't caught anything. You know what I'm saying? I could see if we hadn't caught anything.
Yeah, yeah,
I could see if we hadn't even caught the face that Wendy caught next to the tree. I can see we hadn't caught anything, and then this happened. I would say, yo, that's an orb or some shit, man. That's just an orb. That's some bullshit. But no, to get vocalizations, then the next morning at 6:30 a.m. And you gotta understand that camera will click on, it'll record little 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10-second motion things. So this camera clicked on its own and then captured this. And that's the same thing that happened in Taylor when we caught that gigantic Bigfoot head. The camera clicked on by itself and snapped that. So it's working. It's creepy,
yeah.
but it's working.
And then that's the thing about it. It's like what we set up to do. It's absolutely doing its thing. We're hitting the mark, but it's crazy that it's happening so fast. Even knowing the areas and stuff that the cameras are in, knowing that they're active, it's weird when you see it and it's so clear and it's so, I don't even know the word, like defining. It's definite. To me personally.
Well, I think it's definite to me as well. I mean, I don't see no other explanation for it at this point in time. And everything I do, I try and take it from a scientific approach. Like, okay, what the hell is this? Why is it this way? But it's just there's no way working around that, bro. Like
Exactly.
that is the same thing. It's literally the same color. The only difference is it was up higher, further in the trees, and now that I see how big it is, it's like it was kind of moving from. It was moving back and forth, the same movement, but it was moving back and forth behind the trees. So the eye shine was more dull. And then, if you think about it even more, if I'm a creature with one eye and I need to look, and I have a gigantic freaking head, I literally have to turn my head in this dramatic motion to look to each side. And it makes perfect sense. So I got one eye, I got a head the size of your chest, and I need to look to the right. I literally got to turn my head, my whole body to look to that direction.
That's what
Just
I was
like
thinking.
a
Your whole
one-eyed
upper
human
body.
being would have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And the story writes itself, because there's no doubt in my mind that there's dogman activity here. But when you hear all these sounds and stuff, that's Squatch activity. There's some squatchy shit going on, especially now that you hear these sounds. And I know that they occupy, in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, they do occupy the same area. I think that's what we got on Vault's Land. You got these two different creatures occupying somehow in some sort of harmony the same area.
I think so too. I think so too. And now the difference is I've heard a lot of sounds that people have sent me, and out of all of them, there's been 3. This makes a third that, man, it's clearly not fraudulent. It's clearly not some shit that somebody downloaded from somewhere. That's either Sasquatch or dog, man. I don't, making that sound. I would lean on your guidance for which one, because you're out in the woods. I don't do that shit, so I'm not even
that
to act like I know which one.
Yeah, it sounds straight up squatchy, bro. That sounds like 100% Sasquatch. And anybody who's you don't even have to be in the woods. Anybody who's heard those sounds, that's atypical. It's some sort of a call. I don't know what it indicates, but there's always the call, and the call is answered. Now, when I first heard that, I rewinded a few times just because, like, it was shocking to hear. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting it. But when you rewind it, just a few minutes later, like in all these cases, that call is answered by another creature.
I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're like, oh, we got something going on, or maybe they pissed. I don't know, bro. All I know is that shit there is crazy. That's all the
Absolutely.
way crazy. I'm about to send you the snapshot now that I figured out which file it's in. Because I didn't know what the hell I did with my snapshots. Let's see. Let's put it here.
I'm glad that this is going on, and I hate to say this, and it may sound bad, it may sound wrong, but I don't mean it that way. I'm glad that it's happening on Vault's property and not somebody else's, because Vault knows what to do. He knows how to handle it. He's decades of dealing with these creatures. Were this anybody else, I'm sure that they would kind of press the issue on these things. You're right, because from everything he's told me, like the fire, him going out there, he's almost pushing up against them, and they're starting to push back. A lot of people don't know how to handle that.
They clearly don't like what's going on right now, bro. It's clear that they're like, y'all playing too much. Y'all out here playing. It's all territory, and y'all need to sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. I just sent you the daytime photo from the day. There's a squirrel on the camera right now running around doing something. But I sent you the daytime photo from today so we can just show them that area. And I'm going to try and find one with the light on so you can make the comparison. But this is your area of expertise, bro. You know how to break all this stuff down. I don't know if there's a way to lighten that video up. I don't know how to do none of that. And I ain't finna sit here and try and do it. But there's got to be a way to mess around with that video to show a little bit more.
Yeah, there's multiple ways, even in the dark. And I'm going to be working on that. Even where it's dark like it is. And I'm glad you did send me this, folks. This photo is pretty good of it during the day. Let me get that up so folks can see it. But yeah, like I said, man, this is what the project's all about. But you know what I mean? Like, damn, it's happening really, really fast. The camera's not even been up a month yet.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been up a solid month yet. And it's going crazy. But we did a whole bunch of stuff that we probably shouldn't have did. I'm really rethinking this. Because see, the camera that's going out to Virginia by Connor, I was gonna tell Connor to do the same thing. I was gonna say, hey Connor, just take that camera, put it up, and then go light a fire and then run your ass back in the house. And let's see what happens. But I don't even think we're gonna do any more fires, man. I don't think that's safe.
And see, you can tell. That's why I said I'm glad you sent this daytime photo. If you look at my mouse, that's a lot of space. And I Vault's in the chat with you guys. You tell me if I'm wrong. That looks like at least 15, 20 yards in between the tree line that's right here, these little row of bushes and trees and stuff, and where the actual tree line is back here. Now, I didn't know there was that much space back there because I've only really seen like the nighttime footage, but that's a big area. And
Yeah,
where
it's a
that
huge area.
icon was popping around, it was back in this tree line, and it looked like
No, but it
maybe it
couldn't
was
have been
looked
in a
over.
tree line. This is the thing. This is the thing. It couldn't have been in a tree line because it was. If you go back to the video, it had to be in that space because you don't see the branches and the bushes and it blocking out the eye shot.
You're
It had
right.
to be
It's
right
on.
there in that open space. And then that space, in order to get back there, it goes. You can go watch the old video. Let's just do it all. You can watch the other video where Vault walks back there and he walks down into a ditch because he's down in a ditch and there's and One Eye Willie is over on the right hand side.
Right.
It's man, that's crazy, dude. That's just crazy. That's all I
So
can say.
once you get past this tree line, there's that. That's the dip he was talking about. I'm guessing.
No, the dip is
Dip,
before the tree line.
okay. You can kind of see it.
No, the easiest way to see it, let me send you the video because the easiest way for me to show it to you, let me send you the video with it, and
All
you'll
right.
see him walking into that ditch. Where is it? I have so many videos on here right now, and that thing constantly goes off, which is crazy.
That's some really thick stuff back there too. Like he described to me his land. He showed it to me on Google Maps and whatnot. There's nothing. There's nothing else back there. So there's no
No, and
houses. Like I mean, it's all just it's green. It's all the brush.
no, and on top of that, see, the day after we saw One Eye Willie in the trees, he actually walked out there into the woods and walked everybody way back up in there. And so we all had the opportunity to see what was back there. So it's not like there was it's not like you don't know the terrain because we have the video where it shows the terrain. Like it's well documented what's going on. This is extremely well documented. And okay, I know where it is. It's gonna be here. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. All right.
You're right. It does look like it's standing out in that opening, and that's unusual. Even at night, these things act as if it's still daytime.
I
They'll
think
do
we
everything
pissed
in
that
the
thing
tower.
off.
Yeah, it has to be for them to be standing in the open. I didn't take that into
Yeah,
consideration.
I think we went out there playing around with the fire. It's Vault's fault. And he pissed it off. And I was like, I'm going to tell y'all need to chill out with all this burning fires. Because that's the only thing I can think of, bro. Because that was a pretty big fire. He was out there for at least 2 hours talking. Then more people went out there. And so it's like, okay, you out there in the woods talking. Then he went all the way up to that wood line while it was nighttime in the dark while we was doing it. And walked all
Right.
the way over and was kneeling down and looking into the trees. And he's sitting there saying, yeah, there's something right over there. It's huffing at me. And so I think we just pushed the envelope too far. Honestly, I
And
think we did.
I agree with It's Precious One. The eye shine is adjacent to the branch sticking out that looks like an arch. So I would think that it would be too tall to be a deer. That's what I was thinking. Like when I first looked at all this, and this is before the audio and anything. Just looking at it, a lot of people were saying maybe it's a deer. And this is me seeing the night footage. I've not really seen it during the day. It does look way too tall to be a deer, especially when you look at this footage and see how far I'll call it the in between the tree or in between the tree lines. That's a good long distance. I'll say 20 yards at the least. At the least, that's way too tall to be a deer.
So we got a one-eyed deer running around in the woods. That same one-eyed fucking deer stood up on his hind legs and was 12, 13 feet tall. Come on, man, that ain't no damn deer.
Crazy.
Yeah, that ain't no damn deer. We ain't crazy. Like that's some kind of creature. Whatever it is, dog, man, Bigfoot, they need to go on home and relax. Go have a beer or something because we through playing with you, bro. We don't want no more smoke with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vault don't want no smoke because the way he was talking earlier, you know what I mean? He even said I pressed the envelope. I pushed them a little bit too much. I gave them their space and I impeded on that space.
Sure the hell did. But for the record, I want to go on record saying When he first went his ass out there, I said, man, you don't need to be going out there fucking around. I said it. Everybody that was there, they heard me. I said, man, don't go out there. And then he went. So it ain't on me. He out there running around, wilding out, molesting Bigfoots and pointing his fingers at dog, man. Dude, you crazy, bro. For real.
But
And that goes back to my old intro.
I think the man's smart enough and he's wise enough with these things to know how far to push him. I think he didn't know exactly how far he was pushing him, though, just because of what happened, him getting yelled at, and the surprise of the dogs being, in his room. He thought they were the ones out there making that noise. It's a remarkable piece of footage, and when you put all this evidence together, when you string it together, nobody can deny that there's something going on out there. This is some sort of a cryptid. Is my diagnosis.
Oh yeah, for sure. I sent you that other video so you can review it. Check your email.
All right.
And let people know what we're doing right now.
And folks, I will be putting this into a video so you can kind of see the chronology of it and see how it kind of escalates. Because that's really it tells its own story. It doesn't need us. But if we put it in a chronological order, you can see the escalation in activity on that property.
Oh hell yeah! It's clearly obvious what's going on. It's clearly obvious that the activity is escalated from that from the moment he pulled that weapon. That activity has escalated.
And we want everybody to be safe. I love his family. We want them to be safe, and as does he. So I think he's going to be kind of de-escalating and trying his best to. So, because we want the evidence, but we don't want anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want anybody to take any unnecessary risks.
Man, I don't know how you de-escalate something like that other than, proving to them that you're the top dog. Go out there and start shooting that stuff. Like, hold on, man, you came too close. Let me bust some shot. I don't know how you. Maybe when y'all go live, y'all can talk about that. Cause I don't know how you fix that problem.
Yeah. And that's not beyond to do that, to say, hey, you know what? I mean, I'm king dick out here. This is my place, not yours.
And he said something during that that live stream where he pulled the weapon, because I was like, man, get out of there. He was like, I can't just leave out of here. He was like, you can't do that. You got to stand your ground and let them know that this is your space. And absolutely. I was like, yeah, and he did it. He stood there for a while, because we were talking live. But this is the craziest thing. All of it was live on YouTube and live on the cameras for people to see. So he stands there for a while. He's like, get back. All right, now. And then he slowly steps back. He's like, that one of them tried to flank me. And he was like, okay, I got back. And boom, it was a done deal. But dude, that's just crazy. Like, I was thinking I was high last night or something. I was like, man, you ain't smoking, you ain't doing no drugs. Like, I was thinking all kind of shit. Nigga, did you take some pills or something that you ain't know about? Are you hallucinating? I'm serious, bro. I was like, what the hell?
It was what it was. and I mean, really, that adds the validity of it, because I could tell just from like hosting the show, I could tell what you're doing. You were throwing it out there, what we were doing, what the project was about, and shortly after that, I guarantee you would have wrapped it up. Then all of a sudden, you hear this crazy primal yell, which, I mean, like, you can't mistake that. Anybody who's heard the Sierra sounds, anybody who's been out there in the woods and heard these, there is a distinct difference in the tone and the deepness between what a cougar can do. What a cougar can do remarkable things. I'm sure you've heard it too. Like, they can make themselves sound like babies crying. They can scream like women. But this thing was something pissed off, and it had that deep guttural yell to it.
Dog, all I know is that shit messed me up. I can only speak for, and that was an honest reaction when I said, people talking all this shit about get a photo, get some evidence. We set this up for photo and evidence and video evidence, and I didn't hit record till afterwards because I was in shock. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't hit record. So of course we got it because it was on the stream. And I'm pretty sure people watching it got it on the camera, but I'm supposed to be the Don Diddy, and I didn't even hit record. So that's, man, that shows you a lot about cryptid encounters and what people experience, because it's shocking.
That absolutely. That I can't tell you from all the stuff that I captured, stuff that I didn't, just because I didn't even realize there was anything in my hands. So here's
Wow.
this video. Let's take a look at that. You gonna cooperate with me? There we go.
So this is where it all started. The camera was offset. We still don't know how or why that camera was offset to the left like that. I don't have no clue. And that's when he goes out to adjust the camera. You might want to forward it past all that, and you'll see. There you go. That computer acting like a little girl right now.
And see, I watched this. That's the part that I used for the commercial.
Now watch how he walks off and down into that damn. And I put all this together for him already. There go the eye shine right there. Same eye shine y'all saw, but it's stationary watching him. And then he walks over and down into that hill, or into that little area. And that's clearly an eyeball, dude. He out there trying to light his cigarette, doing random stuff while they got dog mans and Bigfoots around. So watch, walking.
That's how hardcore this is, bro. He's sitting up
it's
there
just
fumbling around trying to light his cigarette.
It's random shit, bro.
Yeah, and this thing just watching him.
Now watch, he getting ready to start going down. See him stepping down, stepping down. Now he stand there for a minute because he was talking to me. And he had the phone in his pocket. Then he gonna start pointing. And we actually caught something. Now that's what a flashlight would look like, because you just see the flashlight on the trees. But then we caught something get up and stand up lower next to him while he was doing that. But we're just gonna put it together for everybody to look at for themselves and make up their own mind, and we're gonna move on to the next one, because at the end of the day, like I said last night, nobody's doing this. And I ain't talking bad about nobody, but it just don't make no sense to me that in the field. Now look how low. Now that's pause right there. Go back to him and pause. Now look, that's the gully I'm talking about. You saw how low he was to look how low he is. And now that's not a matter of distance, that's a matter of height. Because you go back and look at the other photos and you can see even at that distance, I mean, he's down though. And he even said it when he was coming back out. He's like, man, I was down in that little ravine, a gully, a little dip, and then I had to back out of there. So it's this is absolutely insane, man.
Yeah, the perspective of it. I'm glad he did this, because you're right. If you look at this, I said that's 20 yards. That's way more than 20 yards right there. Look how small he is compared to when he was standing in front of this tree line inside of where the campfire was. That's a good long ways. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's tiny right now. And if you look at that last piece of video that was taken when it looked like this creature was standing in the open field,
look how
that's a good distance.
And then look how big that eyeball was compared to his size.
Yeah. So it was either really, really, really close or really, really big.
Really big. And we know that the dark area ends way before the edge of the darkness ends way before where he is. So like if that's you can see him out there now because the exterior house light is on, which is that, like, the house is still pretty far away, but it projects enough light. So that the darkness, I wish I could just draw on the screen, but the dark area that you see is it starts if you see those two trees on your left that kind of make a V,
Right.
they split open. You go and follow how those bushes curve down, like they kind of lean over and curve down, and you'll see when it looks like a finger pointing down to the ground. That's
Yep.
where that dark area starts when the light is off. And it was close, either it was close to that area and it was right up there, or it's just that massive that it was way the fuck back there where he is, and you picked up the eye shine. Now you see him backing out and he's stepping up as
Yeah.
he's backing
Even
out.
even as he's backing out, you can see. Yeah, you're right. Thing like I'll pause it right there. That eyeball was almost damn near the
Big as
size of his head right now.
the size of his head. That's the point I'm
Yeah.
making. That's
That's a
huge,
monster,
dude.
bro.
That's a monster. You're right.
God Almighty.
That's some old Jurassic Park type bullshit going on out there.
And as big as that was, it had to be, and that's something he told me, but I didn't even really put my mind to. It had to be kneeling down. It had to be.
It had to be.
Even
It
as
had to
big as
be.
it was, yeah, that's monstrous. We'll take a look at that other piece of footage after we kind of look at this, get the perspective just to print in people's minds. Like as close as he is, like using those, like you said, those two trees, they're almost like a U type shape as a perspective. That thing was really, really close. It's scary even if it was just that close because it's pressing into an area that he's occupying. You don't really see him do that. That's an act of aggression.
Yeah, and so right there where he's standing now is where that darkness would have been. Now, if you just turn on a camera at nighttime, all that's lit up where he's standing now. But a few steps forward, that's pure black, pitch black, when there's no exterior light. Because we always have to say, look, hey, turn on the exterior light so we can see if there's any eye shine in the woods back there. We're going to need to find some kind of other way to maybe attach some other kind of light back there that we can. I'm going to do some research on other type forms of light that we can put out there.
Right.
Now, somebody in the chat was saying that you got a big ass motherfucker, man.
At the very beginning of this clip is when you can see it the best.
It's got to be in that gully right there. It's got to be in that low area, man. Because it's consistent. It can't be behind trees. You see what I'm saying? It's not being blotted out by anything. It's got to be out in the open, just down in that ditch. Keep on, man. That's crazy. Now, somebody was saying that that people who talk to Sasquatch in their minds write in How to Hunt, and that the Sasquatch told them to tell How to Hunt or whoever that they can see infrared light. The issue when we started this project, D, was people were like, you're not going to catch anything because these creatures can see infrared light. And I told them, I said, that shit that people just say, nobody's really tested it. They've tested it with trail cameras, but nobody's tested it with real live streaming cameras. So we tested it. Clearly, it can see the light. We know that now. So you can confidently say that. But I'm not sure that it matters once the situation is
It's not affecting their behavior to the point
exactly
where they will completely avoid that infrared light. It's not affecting their behavior at that point because we see, I mean, the proof's in the pudding right here. This thing, even though it can see this infrared light, is pressing its luck by being, in my opinion, out in the open. Because this thing, it had to be out in the open. And I played the other video because you can kind of see some eye shine over by where these two trees are.
Someone made a great suggestion, and we're going to do that. Emmanuel said, can we call the two trees on the left the pillars? Yeah, that way everybody knows. So the two big trees on the left, we're going to call them the pillars. Thank you, Emmanuel. That's smart. And that's the way we're going to break this down so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
So, dude, that's just freaky, dude. That's all the way freaky.
Yeah, it's all the way freaky. And this is why I love doing it, because of evidence like this. You know what I mean? Like nobody, the best skeptic in the world is not going to not.
Somebody said there was a shadow of a man standing next to the camera after the howl last night. I don't know. I'll go back and look at it and see. I know there was a freaking ghost child out that bitch talk, and I thought I heard that before she said it because I heard a child in my ear. I just wrote it off like, why, there ain't no children out there.
Yeah, I think Vault sent me the audio for that too. He said was like making some noise or singing some weird song.
And that's crazy because I don't. That's just all that shit's just throwing me off, man. Because I've talked to witnesses, and when they have these things around, you got all kind of other paranormal crap that happens.
Absolutely, bro. And me and you've talked about this in private and in public before. I'm not smart enough to understand the connection, but there has to be a connection there. 90% of the folks I've talked to, they say, hey, and I got to the point where I even asked them, what kind of paranormal or supernatural stuff you got going on in your house or outside your house? 90% of them are like, oh, well, cabinets are opening by themselves. This, that, and the other thing. These are physical creatures that we're seeing right now. We're seeing physical eyes shine. The voice that you heard came from physical vocal cords. So why is it this creepy kid singing a song or making these noises and stuff around where we're getting all this real physical what would you call it? This activity that can be documented.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can document supernatural activity, but it's more likely it's not going to be in a physical way unless you get lucky.
Well, I don't. All I know is that shit freaked me the fuck all the way out. That's all I can tell you. And to have this the following that same morning, that's just crazy.
Yeah, there's no coincidences to that, bro. Like there can't be. It's not just all random shit happening all at once that you can't link.
And dude, I haven't even started sharing the photos that I've been getting. You need to get them photos because my email filling up with freaking faces. Like, so as far as like, I think they call it pareidolia. Like, I don't really like to look at people's photos because at the end of the day, if that bitch is clear, it's already public. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
Like Blue's video was clear as shit. That was public, right? But the faces that I'm seeing, like, it's like, dude, that's clearly a face. Like, that's a face. And then what Carrie caught, which was the evidence of One Eye Willie, where you see in broad daylight, I don't know if I still have that one, and Carrie's not in here. You see in broad daylight this big old head over the bushes with one golden eyeball, like it's a golden eye. You clearly see that head in the eye. And we reviewed all that. So,
and shout out to Carrie and there's another young lady,
Wendy.
Wendy. Shout out to Carrie and Wendy. Dark shared some photos that you guys had found on the live stream. Y'all are doing you have the eye. I can tell you that right now. You have the eye. What you caught wasn't, and I hate pareidolia. I hate people talking about it because pareidolia is us being able to see smiley faces in the front of Volkswagens or sailboats in the clouds. It's not when you're looking in the woods where there's reports of all this activity and you see symmetrical eyes with an adjacent nose in the correct spot. There's not symmetry that everybody can see in pareidolia. There's just not. Pareidolia is an individualistic thing where somebody like Dark can see Daffy Duck and I see Felix the cat in an oil spot. You know what I mean? That's not what we're seeing right now.
So that's how that works. I didn't even know how that works. I just know people use the term. I never looked up the term. I know people use it all the time.
Yeah.
Like that's pareidolia and y'all not seeing anything. And again, to people who are skeptical, I want you to be skeptical. I want you to, because you have to be skeptical at this point in time to offset me personally, because I've seen it all play out and how it all developed and how it just went down. So it's healthy to have somebody who's skeptical, honestly, because
absolutely,
I seen it all play out from the beginning. From, hey, bro, I need you to put this camera up and do this, and then I need you to, the battery going dead on. I need you to do this. I need to make sure that camera's got power. Like, and I remember when he went to go add power to the camera. It was at nighttime. He's like, man, they got shit out there growling and moving around, and these things tripping right now. I think they know the camera's going up. Like, how the fuck they know if the camera's up? He said, well, shit. It's been up until the battery was going dead, so maybe they know. So I know it from all the phases of it, from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so am I biased? Probably so. So somebody else need to look at that shit and tell me what they think. I don't have no problem with it. That's why I said we present the project. The purpose of the project was to present the evidence immediately. And also, if, for example, you capture another blues event where it's like, some really, really good evidence, nobody could be like, oh, we gonna come take it. No, bitch, you can't take it because everybody got it. What, you gonna take it from 500 people? You know what I'm saying? Leave me the
And
fuck
the
alone. Where's my
and
good
the
stuff?
original source can't and the original source can't be denied because this was on Dark's property, this was on Vault's property, this was down in southern Oklahoma, this was in Virginia.
Yeah,
You cannot go after the fact and say, look what I did, because there's going to be thousands, if not tens of thousands of people to say you're full of shit.
exactly. And that's what makes this project so powerful, because it's the group, the theory that the group comes together to solve a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's with us. That's why you get these streams where it's popping. Like tonight, it'll be the evidence will be on Vault of Nightmares channel. It'll be on my channel. It'll be on this channel. Sean will have it on his channel, because we want as many people as they can to look at this to say, hey, dude, I saw this, or I think this might not be legit because of this, or this is fucked up. I don't
Right.
care. Just look at it and tell us what you think and give us your opinion. That's why I'm not tripping. Like, if people skeptical, it's healthy. It's supposed to be two sides of the equation.
Absolutely.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
and and just speaking for myself, I've been out with every big researcher you could think of. Robert Dotson, Kumbo, Tim Kumbo Baker, everybody you could think of, and every last person I looked up to that taught me some Vault. I hadn't had the pleasure going out with him, but we teach each other things that I don't know that he knows, things that he doesn't know I know, and we're receptive to that. The thing about it is, everybody who I respect in this field has, no matter what they've seen, no matter how many times they've seen it, they have a healthy amount of skepticism. You have to eliminate the natural before you start going into this unnatural. These creatures are unnatural. They are. As well as they fit in, as well as they blend in and hide, they're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be there. They call them the ninja of the woods, all of them. I agree with that, but they aren't supposed to exist. And when you get everybody hand in hand looking at the same thing, no matter what their thoughts is about them, and you pull all that information, all those thoughts and feelings together, what drips from that is going to be the truth. It has to be, because we're not, nobody's making up anything. We're all looking at the same thing in real time.
Absolutely, dude. And see, this is the crazy thing. The Taylor camera was just as active, just as wild. Connor's camera, we never were able to connect to it. It just never worked, because it was out there, way out in the woods, on the edge of a cliff, looking down into this area where they ran through this hollow or holla. Now that camera's getting ready to come back up, and I know for a fact Connor's got all kind of activity. He's got Bigfoot, and he's got Dogman. He's got some other freaky weird stuff. I know for a fact, without a doubt. I've been talking to that man for 5 years. And I lived that with him. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
so I know for a fact he's got that kind of activity. So we're going to see a lot. But for the people who are listening and who are paying attention and who want to, just be a part of the project, understand the skepticism is healthy. We're not tripping on none of that. Don't be no
not at all.
asshole. You know what I'm saying? But please be skeptic.
None of it, especially the field guys, which now it's just me involved. We would appreciate it a whole lot more if you bring up healthy skepticism, and instead of saying you guys are a couple of idiots, those are car lights, especially when there's no car lights for miles around. You know what I mean? Like, actually, if you pay attention, we're telling you, and I'm sure a lot of people more than happy to show you. I would too. When the cameras go up here, we'll show you where we're at. We'll give you a full, and this is something we talked about earlier, we'll give you a full dossier on the areas that we have these cameras, so you can start eliminating those type of things, so those won't even be a problem to you. Then you can start focusing in on what's real, and the stuff we're getting is real. It's crazy. Like,
Man, I don't know about that, dude. Them fuck
in a
boys.
long time.
I don't know if we want to tell them fuck boys exactly where the camera at.
Well, yeah, not exactly.
Okay. Okay. They got some fuck boys that'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to go to their camera." Like,
yeah, you're right.
But I understand what you're saying. You're gonna give a general location.
Yeah, general location. Yeah, because you're right. There are some quote unquote fuck boys who would absolutely go and try to mess with the cameras, or pull some sort of a flim flam in some sort of ghillie suit. You know what I mean?
Fuck me clean, fuck us clean over. Now we looking like we hoaxing because they playing. Fuck that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so the cameras will remain a secret. I didn't mean to go that far. Yeah. Nobody's going to know exactly where the cameras are, and that's for our benefit and yours too, because we don't want anybody interfering with the legitimacy of this project.
I'm telling you, because if I wanted to fuck over my enemy and they put cameras up, I'll go out that bitch and do all kind of shit. Like,
Yeah,
oh, this dude a fraud.
put
I
on
run out that
Bigfoot
bitch with a
costume
yeah,
and
put on a
do
costume and
cartwheels.
go. I'll be twerking in front of the camera. I go
And
put
we'd
my
be
hand on
watching
the
like
camera and twerk.
idiots, like,
Be
oh
like,
shit.
yeah, hey. Oh, bitch, your project ain't gonna be successful at all. I'm a hater. I'm a full grown hater. I'll be hating my ass off. But nah, so we ain't
And
doing that.
unfortunately, there are a lot of those people out there that the only thing they care about they don't care about the field in general. They're looking at individuals. They don't like me. They don't like you. They don't like Vol. So they're going to do anything to throw a stick in the spokes. And that's another beauty of the project because everything you're seeing, we're seeing. Everything you're experiencing, we're experiencing in real time, whether we're out in the field or not.
Well, and that's the importance of deploying the rest of the cameras. Um, because once the rest of the cameras are deployed and you get activity, for example, let's say we had a camera in Brown Springs right now, and then we switched over to Brown Springs. We saw similar color eyes shine in the woods. So now we got the two different locations, which are geographically hundreds of miles apart,
Right.
and you're getting the same type of eyes shine, the same type of sounds, the same type of everything. Once you have 5 of those up in areas like that, and now you can do a comparison. Now you really scientifically got something that you're working with. So we're
Absolutely.
almost there. We're definitely almost there. The only thing that's holding us back is T-Mobile, and I'm really supposed to be on the phone with them right now, finishing that up. I'm gonna hop off, bro. You gonna hop
Well,
on
thank you
with
for joining me.
Vault and talk to him about on his channel about this other stuff, though, right? Y'all gonna
Absolutely. We're gonna, folks. If you want to hear a lot more about it, Vault's gonna be able to expand upon it because that's his property. He was there, so you're gonna hear a lot more detail if you join us over on his channel. And we're gonna keep paving forward. Like I said, this I wouldn't be in this field anymore. I wouldn't even care about it if this project didn't exist. This is going to be the future of not only Dogman, not only Bigfoot, but cryptid research, because we both know there's more out there than just Bigfoot and Dogman. A lot of people don't, but it is what it is.
Oh no! And once we get all these cryptic cameras in place, I really want. But we got to start with this. But
Yeah.
I really want to go and like find the most haunted cemetery there is, and just put a camera. It's probably gonna be illegal. We're gonna trespass, but I'll go to a cemetery and put up a camera. I don't give a shit about that. I ain't going to no dog man territory. I will go down here and put up cameras in cemeteries.
Well,
Whatever. You
we'll
ain't gonna
still see
try.
Dogman. I think we'll still see Dogman activity, big bro,
So you,
because
you must you must not want the camera put up. You're gonna just say that like that, right? You don't want me to
no,
go out.
I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah, you don't want me to go. If you're gonna say that, you shouldn't have said no shit like
I'm
that. What you do?
well. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm just saying. I'll give you a little bit of inside baseball from Southern Oklahoma. There's a Native American cemetery not 13, 14 miles to my south. I talked to this gentleman. This has been about 3 years ago. He had no idea what I did, and I was asking, has he ever gone on to? I won't mention the name. I asked him, has he ever gone to this area? And he was like, yeah, I went to the cemetery, and a big black dog that had ooze. He didn't say drool. He said ooze coming out of his mouth and had red glowing eyes was digging up one of the graves at the cemetery.
Oh yeah,
And
they
it
do that
looked
all
at
the
him and
time.
it took off running on 2 legs.
Yeah, they do that all the time. They be wild. I don't know what's up with these things, man. They be wilding. They for real. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
There has to be something to that, though.
I can tell you like this: we should, funding wise, we can deploy all the cameras this month because the project is. Thanks to everybody who signed up.
Big
Just
thanks.
literally over the past 2 weeks, we can deploy all the cameras. Hopefully, by the following month, we will be able to at least get 2 more cameras and deploy them immediately. So I think you're going to see a rapid expansion of this. Um, Seriously rapid expansion. Then when we get to it's going to hit a certain point, guys. And I'm telling you now because I want to mark this 11/3/2021. It'll hit a certain critical mass point where you'll see instead of 1 or 2 cameras being deployed, you'll see 10 get deployed. Like boom, like what the hell? How we went from 5 to 15? Because that's how
Yeah.
projects like this work. It hits critical mass, and then you have enough revenue to deploy those cameras and do what you need to do. And understand so people understand each camera cost us $50 to $75 a month just to run, just on because it's a 4G wireless camera. So you have the cell service that's associated with the cameras cost like $200 $300 a piece. So every time we deploy a camera, you're talking about deploying a $50 to $75 bill. You know what I'm saying? You got 10 of those, that's $700 a month. And that's why the project has to have a team working on it, because it needs to have the funding coming in and keep people signing up as members. And then you also have to have people who are going to go into the field and do stuff. And then the team has to come back from the field and say, okay, bro, this is what I experienced. This is what I experienced. And now you have all this expertise actually helping review the footage, which reminds me, D, we probably need to get Lon Strickler on here and Jeff Nataloni both on here to talk about this with you guys.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to reach out to them and see if they have some time to come on and just go over it with it. I think Lon might be in the hospital. I think he's in the hospital. But I'll reach out to Jeff and see if Jeff can come over and talk about it as well, because those are people who are on the board of directors. And it's a research project with researchers, real people that's doing stuff. And so you take Lon's got 30, 40 years experience in this field. I would love to get his take on what's going on.
Indispensable amount of knowledge that he has. Indispensable.
Yeah. So, and that's how it was set up. It was set up intentionally, just like that. It's set up to win and win and win and win and win and win again. All right, man. I'm gonna hop off, man. I appreciate you letting me spend some time with you.
No problem, brother. I appreciate you coming on.
All right, later.
Bye-bye. Mr. Dark Waters himself, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about. Like, as fast as we got that footage last night, as fast as all this stuff came together really, really quick. Had it just been bought, and we're all still connected. Had it just been bought and this project didn't exist, he would have talked to DW. DW would have talked to me maybe the next day. Bought would have called. The next day after that, I probably would have pulled the footage off and started looking at it. But since this is all happening in real time, we can all react in real time. That's why I've thrown my hat in this ring. And it's remarkable the amount of participation from you guys there is. And I'm sorry if I get the names wrong. Wendy and Carrie, I tip my hat to you as a field investigator for 5 years in one of the most active areas there are in the United States, in my opinion, Brown Springs and the surrounding areas. I tip my hat to you guys. Number one, you have the eye. Number two, you guys know what you're looking at. You're not just throwing what they call pareidolia out there. So keep doing what you're doing. And that's to the rest of you guys too. We all need each other to understand what's going on. We really do. So I'm going to get together with the guys, and we're going to see how we're going to dissect this next. And the camera's still up. You know what I mean? Like he said, there's more cameras to come, but the camera that's up right now in Mississippi, gee whiz, it's getting all sorts of activity. Remarkable activity. Stuff that if there was an actual publicly funded project or publicly funded asset that could be used, this evidence would definitely be a part of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is DDoS. I sincerely thank you for joining us on this episode. Come back to Dogman Cams, hit the like button if you would. That would helps us in the algorithm. That helps get this episode out and helps this channel out a whole lot. If you like what you heard today, hit that bell and you can hear all new everything that goes through this channel. I sincerely thank you, and we'll see you very, very soon. You guys have a great day.